The rain was fast and heavy, and Aurora put her coat on her head and ran quickly home. But in fact, she should accurately identify the puddles on the roads in the dark, and carefully not to let puddles splash on her skirts. After all, in this ancient continent without washing machines, washing clothes is not easy for her, an outsider. Aurora moved forward little by little, and when she passed a bush, Aurora faintly heard a whimper. On a pitch-black rainy night, in a desolate and uninhabited suburb, a girl was soaked wet, and there was a strange voice. No matter how you look at it, it's the beginning of a horror movie. Do you think Aurora will go to the bushes curiously to find out? No, as a dead house bombed by the Information Society, how can she be curious about this sound that doesn't sound serious? You know, the female characters who are not the heroine in horror movies go to see God like this. You asked why a dead mansion appeared in the suburbs on a rainy day, and they all said that there should not be so much curiosity. Aurora, who perfectly controlled her curiosity, swears that she just took a look at the bushes, and if she takes a second look, she will wipe the study, attic, kitchen, and living room all over again. A black dog was lying in the bushes. Although she couldn't tell what breed it was, his fur looked perfect. It seemed that he was of good blood. The black dog was licking the wound. It seemed to have already sensed Aurora's arrival. Seeing Aurora approaching, it just looked up at Aurora and continued to lower its head to lick the wound. Aurora was stunned by the calm and self-possessing eyes that seemed like a domineering president, and she muttered to herself, "If I hadn't known that it was impossible, I almost thought you were a person. By the way, if it were a handsome man, with the look just now, maybe I would have picked it up." After muttering to herself for a while, Aurora stood up, tucked her wet long hair behind her head, and planned to leave. As for the adoption of injured animals, how could the bursting behavior of the Virgin Mary happen to her? But this dog is quite good looking. If you let it stay here, will it go to see God and be reincarnated? Aurora stood outside the bushes and stared at the black dog for a long time. If I refuse to walk the dog, I can't guarantee 3 meals a day, maybe even a bath every day. Will you still come with me? Aurora saw doubt in the black dog's eyes. Sure enough, getting too much rain will cause hallucinations. Aurora wiped her face, wrung the water out of her hair, and walked towards the poor dog. Why should I try to keep a dog that I can't even raise myself? Think about the dog hair that will be floating everywhere. I quickly dispel this idea. But you look seriously injured, go back and bandage it first. When Aurora's hand was about to touch the black dog, it suddenly stood up and bared its teeth fiercely. But its front legs were so badly injured that it fell back to its original position before it could stand firm. Poor thing. Aurora ignored the fluttering of teeth and claws trying to scare her off, and hugged it easily in her arms. When you get better, threaten others again. When the black dog, who was struggling in Aurora's arms, heard the name poor thing, the whole dog was stunned. At this moment, he lost the best time to break free. Later, he felt the warm body temperature of the girl behind him and gave up struggling. One night, it was raining heavily, and Aurora picked up a little black wolf dog from the suburbs of unknown origin. When the little black dog first arrived at Aurora's house, it was still very resistant. After being bandaged and fed by Aurora all night, it slowly accepted this unfamiliar place. On the third day, it could jump on the table and signal that it was time for Aurora to change his bandage. Aurora was also surprised that the little black dog could jump on the table effortlessly, but she immediately thought that there were all strange creatures in this unreasonable continent. So it was not surprising that the dog's jumping ability is better. It's been said that this is the place to eat. Don't jump on it. Don't move. I'll take care of you and change the bandage. If you move again, I won't care about you. Aurora nagged while carefully changing the bandage of the little black dog. Your healing ability is amazing. The wound was visible 3 days ago, but now it has almost healed, and only a blood stain could be seen. Okay, you stay in the chair first and I'll prepare lunch. What do you want to eat? Roast steak or braised pork? The black dog sat on the high chair, and his eyes moved with Aurora's figure. When Aurora turned to the kitchen, it also jumped to the ground and followed into the kitchen, making sure that Aurora stayed within his sight. Unexpectedly, Aurora has good cooking skills. Although many ingredients are different from before, the cooking is very similar. She quickly learned from other facts and figured out many delicious and nutritious meals. Maybe the little black dog's wound heals fast, and a good diet also contributes to it. Aurora brought the dishes to the dinner table. As soon as she sat down, she saw the black dog jumping onto the chair opposite her. Aurora laughed. If I hadn't known it was impossible, I almost thought you were human. Here again, the strange look of the black dog. Aurora didn't take the abnormality of her little black dog to heart. She said to herself, if you are a human, you must be a handsome man. But then, you should be a boy. Seeing Aurora's eyes drifting somewhere, the black dog barked twice unbearably. Okay, I don't look at it. You pay a lot of attention to it. Aurora shrugged her shoulders and said unintentionally, it's time for dinner, my handsome Mr. Black Dog. Another 7 days passed, and there was not even a trace of the wound on the black dog's leg. Aurora was very proud. She is a qualified breeder. Somehow, she felt that the little black dog was very clingy today, and it followed her wherever she went. Aurora squatted down, pinched the black dog's fluffy ears, hugged its face and kissed it hard. I'm here and won't disappear. What are you doing so tightly? I still have to do housework. Good boy, let's play by myself first. I'm right here, and I won't disappear. What are you doing following me around? I still have to do housework. Good boy, go and play by yourself first. When Aurora got up, she wondered if it was her illusion. She felt that her little black dog was stiff and wagging his tail excitingly. Sure enough, it's a little male dog, Aurora thought to herself. When next spring arrives, should she find a beautiful female dog for him? At night, the little black dog abnormally followed Aurora into the bedroom. In the past, he squatted outside the door and stayed there all night, but today he followed in. Aurora squatted down and looked at him. Do you want to sleep with me today? Aurora felt that her pet was stiff again. She knocked on the forehead. Did she do too much housework? Why did she always have hallucinations? Aurora has always cared about these details. She boldly picked up the little black dog and said, since you want to sleep with me, I'll bathe you first. Hearing the bath, the little black dog struggled harder. Aurora is very sad, her strength is not as strong as her pet's. She looked at the little black dog who broke free from her arms and had to compromise. Well, if you don't want to, then forget it. But let's make it clear that you are not allowed to go to bed without a bath. The little black dog let out a low bark from his throat. Aurora couldn't understand the dog language, but she could guess what it meant. She smiled with great satisfaction and looked at her pet, who was so understanding, obedient and sensible. Before blowing out the candles, Aurora, who put on her pajamas, said goodbye to the little black dog lying under the bed. Good night, see you tomorrow. The room was dark, and only the moonlight shone in front of the bed. The black dog looked at Aurora, who was sleeping soundly, and suddenly said, good night, Aurora. Aurora has been very depressed these days. She had a pet dog for more than 10 days and got lost. Maybe it's not that it got lost, it's that his injury is healed, so it's time for him to leave. After all, it wasn't her dog in the first place. Although Aurora couldn't tell the type of dog, looking at the fur and temperament of the little black dog, it was obvious that it was a precious breed with a very pure bloodline. People who could afford such a dog would not be able to match her. Although she knew that it was a good thing for the little black dog to return to his master's house, Aurora couldn't help feeling sad. She originally thought that the little black dog liked her very much. This kind of depression lasted until a certain evening when she saw the white cat nesting outside the fence of her house during sunset. Aurora instantly forgot the black dog and happily took her new pet home. Baby, are you hungry? What do you want to eat? I'll cook it for you. The white cat licked its paws so elegant, and it was so cute. Aurora holds the white cat to herself. There was a sound of footsteps outside the door. The footsteps were firm and forceful, slightly hurried, and as soon as they heard them, they knew that the owner of the footsteps must be in a hurry. Before Aurora could react, the door was pushed open. Ah! Wait, sir, who are you? Hey, don't come over, or I'll call someone. Aurora watched helplessly as the handsome black-clothed man approached her step by step. Just when Aurora was tense and didn't know what to do, the white cat in her arms was taken away. What are you doing? That's my cat. Aurora shouted angrily. I haven't cared that you trespassed into a private house. You also robbed my cat, you hurting it, be lighter. Aurora's next words were automatically silenced because she saw with her own eyes that the white cat was picked up by the black-haired, black-clothed, sword-brow, and star-eyed handsome guy, and the white cat slammed to the ground. Before Aurora could scream, she saw the white cat land lightly on the ground and turned into a teenager in a white dress. Aurora was completely stunned. Are the animals on this continent can turn into humans? The boy in white patted the place where he was caught, and said dissatisfiedly, Elvis, you are still so rude. In front of the lady, you treat your friend like this. Saying that, the boy in white gave Aurora a charming smile. I haven't introduced myself yet, my name is Eric. This beautiful lady, may I pursue you? The boy in black, maybe we should call him Elvis, grabbed Eric's collar unbearably, suppressed his anger and said, "Get out of here immediately, or I'll break your legs." Eric shrugged his shoulders indifferently, turned his eyes to Aurora, and said in his beautiful voice, "Miss Aurora, you smell so good, do I have this honor?" Before he could finish speaking, he was thrown out by Elvis in a rage. Aurora watched all this in a daze. When only she and Elvis were left in the room, Aurora's voice became stuttering, "You. Could it be, shouldn't?" Elvis walked to Aurora, lowered his eyes, and looked at her intently. "I still owe you a good night. I'm sorry I missed the appointment that day. However, I'm back." Aurora looked at the handsome face close at hand and felt that her saliva seemed to be out of control. "So, that little black dog is you. Remove little." Elvis said displeasedly, "I wanted to correct you for a long time, but it was inconvenient to reveal my identity a while ago because of the mission. Call me Elvis from now on." He suddenly thought of something, narrowed his eyes, and said viciously, "In the future, except me, you are not allowed to pick up other animals to go home, not any animal. Let me take a moment, so all the animals in this world, at least some of them, can be turned into humans? This is amazing. But wait a minute." Aurora raised her head, gritted her teeth and asked, "So some time ago, I hugged the little black dog. It's you, isn't it?" Suddenly Elvis' ears turned red. End of story.